Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back with you for our Big Brother Thursday night recap. And tonight we ask, what the frickin' hell is going on with Big Brother 25? We'll try to make some sense out of everything that goes on here on this show, as we had I thought, a pretty bizarre night of Big Brother. Back with us, of course, that he got a break from the live feeds for 24 hours. Here he is. It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Confused.
Yeah.
Honestly. Confused.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk it through. Okay. Of course, back with us, the voice of the people. It's Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing well, but I am confused as well. That was a very bizarre episode, and I mean, nothing happened, and we were like 30 minutes in, and we were like about to go to the eviction, and I was like, oh, maybe something's going to happen afterwards. Like maybe there's a big twist that's going to be revealed, or maybe like an HOH competition.
No.
And there was nothing.
In fact, I believe like the only time that I can ever recall in the history of 25 seasons of Big Brother that did not end in like a double eviction episode where we did not even get a glimmer of what the HOH competition was going to be. We didn't even like start the HOH competition.
They lingered so long on the on the eviction interview, and they showed them all the like goodbye messages for the first boot. It's like they don't even know each other.
No, it wasn't quite all of them. Curtis said, wait, I thought there was more house guests. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then of course, here, I believe making his Big Brother 25 debut tonight, of course, our great friend Jacob Jones is here tonight.
Hello. I'm very excited to be here. I feel very light today, and this episode was very light as well with some heavy moments, but this season has been like quirky. What's that? Not quirky. Quirky, right?
Quirky.
Yeah.
Like Corky, not the dog.
Sounds like you're saying Corky, but with a core.
I know, it may be my southern draw. But Corky, like, I don't know. But this season is like Porky to me. And I like it. So this season,
Quirky.
Quirky.
Quirky,
but not the dog, the wine stopper. But yeah, I like this episode was like but the season has been like, so I'm gonna like rest on that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk all of this through. We'll take your questions as well later on tonight, and then presumably, Taran, the feeds. Julie advertised the feeds that it sounded like the feeds should be back after the West Coast version, or are they back up at this point?
She said later tonight, so I'm assuming, honestly, it could even be later than the West Coast airing, considering that wording, but who knows?
Okay. That being said, Taran will be back on Friday morning, presumably, for unless everybody tunes into the live feed update, and then we just see like a portal into Taran's room and he's not there.
Yeah, it's well, I'll open it with, this is a live feed update, and oh boy, I've got some information for you. But first, let's list off some names. Let's just do some busy work, and then at the end of the update, I'll be like, so that information that I've got for you about what happened on the feeds, coming to you later this week.
Okay. All right. And of course, you could be there live, or if not, make sure you subscribe to our podcast feed, robinswebsite.com/big brother. Okay. So we did have some things that did happen tonight. I think that we had the piece of business that we knew was coming in this episode, that it was going to be Luke's dismissal from the house. And I thought that the show handled this in some curious ways. One, I kind of thought that this would be the headline opening the show. It doesn't come up that it is going to be a thing until about 15 minutes into the episode. Taran, I thought they also handled it in a very confusing way, in that, so many of us saw the unedited clip from the live feeds, but they dropped out the word that he said. And I had to think that some viewers are confused about what happened, right?
I would imagine at first, for sure, like you aren't sure. I think eventually you probably understand what's being referred to. I would hope. But it was weird, and I think especially weird that like it wasn't brought up immediately. It didn't have any impact on the episode, and it didn't even have its own segment. Like the segment dragged on for another like 10 minutes right after that. They just
Yeah.
moved on and cut to stuff that happened before.
But the
was
editing
so
choice
strange.
to do a dropout, I mean, I think a bleep would have at least like helped. Like, oh, there was something there, and I know we were all looking for it for that moment in the episode, and then it was definitely like I felt like that it really did, make it less impactful. That there was like just like a blank space there.
They were trying to
Jacob,
put us into the headspace of Heisem.
yeah,
He didn't hear it.
He didn't
we
hear
had,
it.
yeah, he didn't hear it.
Completely.
Yeah. Jacob, I know you haven't had the opportunity to talk about all of this. What did you think about the way that Big Brother handled this tonight?
I mean, I think they did a responsible job as creating a television show that is supposed to be depicted of everyone from the country, and handling out consequences for actions. And I think that was very affirmative of them moving in the correct direction when we've seen for so long how it has played out. I do seeing the edited version on the TV show. I was, again, like y'all echoed, not a little, because I was like, because they highlighted the Kirsten conversation with him, and then leading into him going back there, and the word it felt as though it was like, all right, let's show this, let's hurry up and get it away. All right, now we can come back to the rest of the show. And I don't know. I feel like I want to say it. I feel like it didn't have that much like care to like the gravity of what the word was and what was used in like people's minds, and we only got to see Jared in the confessional. And I know different people have different ways of expressing themselves in awkwardness, and specifically for a Black person, I do feel like hearing that word from a white person is very awkward. It's very like, it's kind of like, am I being pranked right now? Like, is this like kind of still going on in America right now? And are we just lightly moving past it? And it's kind of a place of, and I don't know exactly what was going through Jared's mind, but it's kind of a place of like, now I have to be the person to really like gut punch this person and be like, yo, you can't say that. And kind of in a grand scheme of things, dial back the mood to be like, yo, let me check you real quick. And playing a social strategy game, when you have that element in it, it can just be very dicey. The reaction that he gave was his reaction. I probably would have reacted very differently, but it's still just a intricacy in it that I don't. You'll be damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I feel like you should have been more damned if you do, and just correcting him and saying something. And so,
Yeah, I don't want to get into, what Jared's specific feelings are about this. I just felt like it was so curious the way that the show handled it, of like, on the one hand, this is a serious enough violation that if you do this in the Big Brother house, you violated the code of conduct, you're removed from the game. But then they chose to also give us like the aftermath with Jared of sort of like, this wasn't a big deal, like don't worry about it. And it was just sort of very much like downplayed in the moments that we saw from the house guests. And really, we only saw Corey bring it up. And Jared has his reasons. He felt like that he didn't want that brought up in the group setting. But I just felt like that we could have seen more from, I'm sure the other house guests had thoughts on what had happened. And it just seemed like, it was like two different things of, this is serious, we are removing this person, and also nobody really seems to be that upset about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
they didn't talk about it. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it just felt like there could have been something more to it, even if it was like Julie saying something. I don't know if they didn't want the house guest to say something, like maybe Julie just saying something, because instead it's like the conversation was shown so quickly that like it was like a blink and you miss it type of thing. And then the second, that Corey tries to bring it up to kind of like have a discussion, Jared doesn't want to talk about it, and then we just move on. I feel like there wasn't enough to it, and then it does like, and I fully agree that Luke should be removed, but it does, the way it was edited, make it seem like, should he be removed though? Like we don't even know what he said or whatever. Like Heisman didn't hear it. So it was like it's played as if like, oh, but did he really say it? And it's like,
right.
Yeah, we heard him say it, like it was real. But I don't know, it just felt like this weird thing that I think brings up more questions for the casual audience than it does give any answers.
I mean, I think that it makes a lot of sense in the context of what happened last season, where from my perspective, at least, the way they edited the Kyle situation felt very much like they really didn't want to have to do anything about it. And that they were really annoyed at Michael and Brittany for bringing it up. And that was their perspective. And I felt like it bled through the edit. And this edit also felt like, oh, we have to do this because it's what's, PC. We have to kick him out. But let's, I mean, we don't want to. But we will, but we're not going to do anything else. We're not going to spend time on this. And hey, also, just so ignorance isn't malice. And it's just, he didn't follow the rules. It was just the rules. That's those rules, man. Whoops.
Yeah. I mean, it was just such a nothing burger in the episode that it's hard to really even like have that much to talk about. Like it was a very, very small part of the episode. There was that. And then I really felt like that following that, okay, well, all right. Well, now we will cancel the eviction because we have precedent for this. Okay. Somebody went home. You got 100-day season. Surely we're not actually going to go through with the vote. I really thought they're just, all right, here we go. Bait and switch. All right. Yes. Okay. Kirsten's on the block. Yeah. We're going to sit there and watch 13 people vote unanimously on a live show to vote Kirsten out of the house. Okay, big brother. Yeah. All right. At any point, you can just say eviction is canceled. And, certainly we saw this last year with when Paloma ended up being removed from the game and they canceled that first eviction, but they went through with the eviction,
which was so weird to me.
Which
was
also
so
such
weird.
A boring eviction. It wasn't even like something exciting to give us anything. It was just nothing. It would have been way more exciting to see their reaction.
13 votes live to evict Kirsten.
Yeah, it would have been more
after 7, it was already over.
Like to them canceling, like that would have been more exciting to see Kirsten being like, oh my God, the Taylor reaction when Taylor learned that the eviction was canceled. I just feel like it was so ridiculous. And then Julie like tries to make it interesting by being like, will Jared show his allegiance by voting? It's like, they're all voting Kirsten out. Yes. It doesn't matter what he does.
Suri and Felicia have been tight allies in the house. It would be curious if she voted against her. Like, why are we even doing the live evictions when it's going to be 13 people? Let some people vote during the commercial. Like is it just like, hey, this is just the easiest way to fill time is just have people vote?
I think so.
It was the most boring episode. Oh my God.
No. I mean, I think it comes down to, again, like the Luke situation was major news. It was not just Big Brother news. It was like actual news. People from outside of the community were hearing about it, talking about it. And I imagine some of those people tuned in tonight to see what was going on, because this is a rare occurrence. This hasn't happened in the US ever. It hasn't happened in any Big Brother since 2007, or at least in English-speaking Big Brother, to my knowledge, since 2007. Only like the 4th or 5th person to be ejected from the game in over 20 years of the show. And they did it in like 2 minutes and then didn't even end the segment to be like, that was dramatic. Let's reset. They immediately went to other stuff. And I think that they really just wanted to get along, get going back to whatever they had going before. They didn't want to have to re-edit anything. They didn't want to have to dive into the topic. They wanted to stick to the formula as much as possible. They wanted to get to all the votes and their little portal graphic that they probably spent money on from an asset pack somewhere. I think this is what we're doing.
I think they really fumbled the bag on this one. I think they could have done like a really interesting episode, and they don't have to just focus on that, but I feel like there was so much more to it. I think that they should have canceled the eviction. I just think that, the way that it was handled was just so disappointing. I was so excited for tonight's episode. I literally was just like, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what the reaction of the house guests are going to be after he gets ejected. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then they literally didn't show us any reactions of anyone else. It was just like, and that was it.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, we know like how Jared felt about this, but like, we could have gotten like a diary room from Suri or Felicia
or even Corey.
or Kirsten or
Nicole. That somebody actually goes in on Luke.
Yeah.
And doesn't like what he did a lot and
he
thinks
said, what
it was the right call to remove him.
Yeah.
Also, they showed the people's reactions to like hearing it, and then I feel like even including certain things while also excluding people's reactions to the diary room, but also including the little thing with Corey and Jared, but also not including people's reactions that could have been harsher, but also including Jared's reaction to what he said, but also not going back to like what it was just all misplaced and misdirected, and they definitely missed the mark, and it was very weird.
We also got the moment where Heisem said, well, I didn't catch that he said that. Taran, did Heisem not in the moment react negatively to what Luke had said?
It certainly seemed like he did.
Why did Heisem leave the room immediately after he said it?
He had a facial reaction. He immediately left the room. It really seemed, and then he had a conversation that was directly related to what Luke said with Luke and Jared right after about how Luke loves to push boundaries and be edgy. And Luke also alluded to the fact that he said it multiple times in Heisem's presence when he talked to Corey, when Corey came in. He said, "Oh, I got scolded because of you, Corey. Are you you're mad at me? Stop being mad at me." I mean, it certainly seemed like he had a reaction.
The only thing I can say is that like Heisem always looks like he's got this really concerned, like shocked face on at all times, just like.
But he left the room right after it happened. Like he abruptly left, and it's not like that him and Corey are on the same page. It's like, hey, if Corey's leaving, I'm leaving. Like they both were like, hey, you got to go to bed, man.
I mean,
Very
maybe
weird.
we'll hear more about it in the live feeds. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not at this point. So who knows? I don't know.
And also, and maybe Taran will probably know a little bit more. I know they talked about it as a threesome, but was it talks like it didn't leave that threesome, correct? I know fees have been down, and so
I mean, nobody's told anybody else outside of that room that we saw, and clearly, it doesn't seem like anybody ever did.
Yeah. And so that it just, to me, then you had Kirsten, who really was somebody who like she certainly came in hot on the first night or two, but really lost the competition because she couldn't kick herself in the butt 100 times. Nobody really wanted her to go home. This would have been like the most harmless eviction to cancel. But instead, we go through with it, and I kept waiting for, all right, she's going to go out. She's sitting in the chair with Julie. Julie's going to tell her, all right, you're not out of the game yet. But Julie Chen Moonves goes on and reveals that Suri and Jared are related. And now it's, there's no way she's coming back into the game.
So stupid.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, the choice is obvious. Clearly, there was no reason to, I mean, unless something really that I can't even think of comes in later with this twist. But like,
Yeah.
the only reason to not cancel the eviction in my eyes is, okay, you had a schedule that actually does rely on Kirsten being evicted in this moment, because maybe she's coming back. But like, if Luke is gone and there is nothing to do with Kirsten, then the schedule actually is better if you cancel the eviction, I would imagine, given what you would expect.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, in that way, it makes more sense to do this. And obviously they don't care about fairness. They never have. So it's not because of fairness that they didn't cancel the eviction. So it's like, why did they make this call?
Yeah. If I have just like my one crackpot theory on this is that I really feel like that the Suri addition to the cast, to me, has felt all along like it was very last minute. You know, we didn't really get any sort of hype about there being a 17th house guest officially up until like 2 hours before the episode. It got tweeted out. Suri was going to Azza's party up until like very, very, like if Suri was like in the mix from the get-go, why is Suri telling Azza I'll be at your party? And so I feel like that they added Suri to the cast pretty last minute. And so maybe they had a plan for 16 house guests all along. Said, all right, we got Suri. We're going to have 17. We'll figure it out. We'll do a double eviction, another double eviction somewhere along the way. And then when they lost Luke, they said, all right, let's just go back to the original plan that we had for the 16 house guests.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You know, that's the thing I didn't think of, which is that they had already screwed up, and that this ended up helping them get back on track.
That they had one extra person that they didn't account for that they needed to do to get rid of anyway by the, I mean, the Suri thing really, like, you would think that in a world where Big Brother was like, had been planning for Suri to be in there, you would think that when the cast came out that there would be a little bit more of a tease of a wait till finale night or premiere night. We've got another big surprise coming. There was none of that up until 2 hours before the episode.
Yeah.
And then all we got was a pouring champagne flute and then a turnaround. A lovely turnaround, but you know what I mean? That's what we got.
Yeah, it's also possible that they're like, oh, maybe we can use this, you know, in the future for like the Humiliverse or something, like, oh, you think that it's an eviction, but actually this person stays, you know, for like a future thing. I don't know, like just because they're like, Kirsten's already leaving. She's out of the loop. It's not like a house guest that's everyone is upset is leaving. Maybe we like save this for later and do something fun with that. But I don't know. I think it's odd. I thought that they absolutely would have canceled this eviction. I based my stock buy this week on it. So I'm screwed. But yeah, I mean, I think it's dumb that they didn't cancel it for that reason. And also just generally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is what it is at this point. We move forward and the game will continue on. You know, Taran, was there consideration up until like what you saw for, you know, we saw tonight in the episode, and I would love to get like just like in terms of how they piece this eviction night recap together. But was there more consideration ever at any point to vote out Felicia, considering how she was so locked in as part of the Izzy and Suri side of the house?
No, I mean, it really, like, the only consideration to keep Kirsten at all was like, could we maybe get Heisem to use the veto? Nah. And that was the extent. The second she was on the block, it was, man, kind of wish we could keep Kirsten, but she's up against Felicia, so
yeah.
And that was that.
What about in terms of how they put this together? You know, it seems like that they go right from, okay, Luke went out of the house, but the game continues. But is this all stuff from before Luke got evicted?
All stuff from before he was evicted, which is part of the whiplash of like, okay, this big thing just happened. Again, major news, covering it, people talking about it. But apparently the people in the house got right back to business as usual, according to the edit, because they cut to things that all happened before the Luke situation. There was not a single scene post Luke situation that I can think of. So they, you know, again, and if we never get any of that, then it really was all just kind of like, there's a rug here. Could we fit it all under there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so disappointing because, especially because the feeds have been so good and we've been loving this season as feeds watchers so far. And then just to see it look like so straightforward and boring, as if like, oh well, she played too hard, because none of us are playing right now. We're all just hanging out. So she was playing too hard, so now she has to go because we're not playing. And it's like, that is absolutely not what went down. There was so much gameplay, so much strategy, so many things happening in the house. And I feel like we just aren't getting any of that. And instead it's just, we're spending 30 minutes on like watching the votes and then having that interview, which didn't really tell us anything or do anything. And then no HOH. So we don't even know who's in power. It's like, it just was such a bad episode. I'm shocked at how bad it was. It's like, it was just so bad. And yesterday's was bad too. So it's not
It's been a rough week. Been a rough week. Yeah.
Too. It's all been bad. So,
Yeah.
you know, the feeds are great though. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, when they're on. Taran, they sort of distilled this down to a war of the ages here in the house. Old versus young. Is this an oversimplification of how the house really is?
I think it's fine. It is a simplification, but it's not necessarily an oversimplification. There was a lot more that made this interesting, with people from both sides trying to play both sides. Which is part of why the feeds have been so fun.
Hey,
but
this
yeah,
is
we didn't get any
Suri
of that.
going back to her roots. Her very first Survivor experience was on the older women tribe.
Yeah.
Think
When
about
she
it.
was like 34. By the way.
Yes.
Which is
yes.
crazy.
And Jacob Survivor has tackled this before. Remember when you and I podcast about Survivor Nicaragua, the battle of the ages for the survivors, the old versus the young?
And it was so much. I mean, I personally have always liked that season. I know that season gets shit on a lot, but it was such a cool, literally. Oh wait, Rob, you're so smart. Because homeboy peed in the pool. And then I talk about peeing in pools. But my mind went somewhere else. But
still a great night.
It's still a great night. I always like that concept of the battle of the ages, and I like the vigor that Julie called them their elders, and I guess that's they are older than
Later
them.
days.
But elders is like I don't know, it's a little icky. But I like the vigor that they have, and like they want to like tussle with the young folks, and the young folks seem like while the older folks seem like so I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so true. Well put.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that's worth highlighting from the conversations that we saw in the episode, Taran, that were taking place as far as the sides forming?
I think Suri put it best. You know, if Heisem wants to lead the charge and be a figurehead, great. And meanwhile, she is one of the people doing work to make connections on the other side to ensure that she will be safe in the event that the other side wins, while Heisem, you know, rallies the troops to go against that other side. And it all works out pretty well for Suri and some of the others that are trying to play that middle game. And then there's Cameron, who you know, I feel like, given the fact that we didn't spend time on Luke, we could have spent time on Cameron, but instead we had votes. So.
So we had been talking last night about where is Izzy? What is with this Izzy erasure? Melissa, what did you think about the Izzy coming out party on the episode tonight, as we really get to see our, you know, full first look at Izzy in action?
Not enough. We need more. We need more. I want to see the full extent of it. It is interesting because, and you guys kind of touched on this in the recap last night, but you guys were shocked that they hadn't shown Izzy at all. And someone had mentioned that maybe Izzy's diary rooms were too far out there, too
that
intense.
was my theory. Yes.
Well, it was interesting because on the feeds she had said like, they never call me to the diary room. I haven't been to the diary room once. Like, why don't they want me to be in there? Are they not? They're not showing me on the show at all. So it's interesting that actually was accurate and that they weren't showing her on the show at all. I mean, I don't know why, but and I mean, I guess I do know why, because they're really not covering. It's like Big Brother Canada all over again, where it's like the feeds are something totally different than what we're seeing. And so like Izzy is like some background character until now, I guess, barely. And on the feeds, she's just like all over the place, like into everything, like, talking with Cirie at all times, like, she's just a wild character. And we're really not seeing that. So I'm hoping that this is the start of, maybe showing us more of that on the show.
Jacob, how are you feeling about Izzy?
Oh, I love her. I think she is phenomenal. Like it's kind of like having a character that just fully goes for it without anything holding them back. And the people in the game are not even holding her back, because they're like, no, keep going, keep pushing, let's keep doing it. And I love it. And it just gives me like a invincible character with a shield on that's just like going like a Trojan horse. The Trojan horse, well, maybe not the Trojan horse battle, because they were like in that horse thing and then they snuck away.
That's like a sneak attack.
Yeah, I feel
Izzy's
like
not hiding in a horse.
Yeah, no. She would have that thing and like boom, boom.
She's
boom,
a battering ram.
Yes. But I love it. It's fun to watch, specifically on the feeds, and it was fun to watch the way that she interacted with the HOH and then relate that conversation to Cirie and was like, yeah, I told her this. And Cirie was like, oh, you did. And it's just we need people like that. And I love the enthusiasm. I love the passion for the game. I love the excitement. And I would like to see it more on TV as well.
Yeah. Taran, so I thought then it was super interesting that we got Cirie's first diary room talking about what she thinks about working with Izzy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which was, I think, exactly what a lot of people thought it would be, which is like, well, I mean, this person holds my life in their hands, and that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. And she's had to, like, Izzy is the perfect person to hold this secret, because she's so enthusiastically holding the secret, but that enthusiasm makes her very difficult to like keep reined in. And so Cirie is just having to be like encouraging, but also not too much. And then but she can't be too not encouraging, because she needs to make sure that Izzy still feels like family. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a ticking time bomb, and you're like testing the pressure of every situation to not be like, okay, maybe she can have this reason to expose me this time or this time or this time, and it's tiptoeing, and that can create like scare. That makes me feel bad for Cirie in a lot of ways, but
and this has been talked about just a little bit, and I see it in the chat as well. But Cirie played with Shane Powers in Survivor Panama, who similarly was like excitable, really could get worked up about certain things, really wanted to was very animated about going after the other side of things. So Cirie has played with a more volatile personality before. So
imagine that Shane Powers knew that Cirie secretly had a son on the tribe, and he was the only one, and she was trying to keep Shane Powers from revealing that secret.
Yeah. Well, he's like incredibly loyal, Shane. So
exactly.
That it might not be the worst person to be in that position with.
I think Izzy is too, and I think that's part of what makes it so funny to watch her try to deal with, because Izzy is very loyal, but at the same time, like it's such an enthusiastic loyal that you're like, oh, I didn't ask for that though.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It could be too much. All right. So we got to the live eviction part of the night. We got through our speeches that were, pretty unmemorable, correct?
Fine.
Correct.
Yeah. And then we went through all of our votes, and a couple of things to highlight here. One, so I saw a lot of people, really calling this out. Matt votes to evict Kirsten, and then afterwards, that Julie tells him, "Okay, thank you, Matt," and he is, not getting that message through. And I know it's only the first night for the live eviction, but it seems like that there is more they could be doing to help Matt in these situations.
Yeah, I think that I don't think there's like a good excuse for this, considering that like they cast him. You know, if you are going to cast somebody who is deaf, then you need to like educate yourself and make sure that you know what kind of accommodations need to be in place for him, so that he's not left sitting there on live television waiting, for something that you're not like prepared to give him.
Yeah.
And I think that part as well. And I also I really appreciate watching Kirsten kind of interact with him and helping him out in different areas on the live feeds, which I thought was a very like nice moment that they could have. And it's just like kind of showed it's just kind of showed her character in more ways than one. But I think even as a house guest could do more, production could do way more in this entire thing.
Yeah. All right. On the plus side of things, we did have one memorable vote that came from Corey, who gave us this tonight.
I vote to evict Kirsten. Thank you. Meet you, Zach.
Now, the casual viewers are probably saying, wait, who's Zach?
Yeah, they don't know. They don't
know.
idea.
They don't know. Like, maybe if they would have talked about how Corey has a brother named Zach who was on Survivor, who didn't get through his first vote, like that could have meant something, but nope.
I wonder if they were like, I didn't know Kirsten's nickname was Zach. Like,
Like, production doesn't even know.
Yeah. So, but that was a very funny moment. I tweeted to Zach that I think somebody needs an atomic wedgie when they get home from Big Brother.
That's so funny.
Zach on Twitter was very funny throughout the night. He had said about 20 minutes prior, he had tweeted, "So proud of Corey," and then right after 20 minutes later, right after the vote, he had quote tweeted that he was like, "Nope. Guy." And then he changed his profile picture and like background to Heisem.
Yeah.
Zach is so funny.
Hashtag Heisem was right. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then so we sat there and watched incredibly 13 people vote to evict Kirsten.
So exciting. Riveting.
That has to stop.
I mean, this is malpractice. I don't understand how we could have like if it's not going to be that exciting of a vote, and maybe like, oh, you're spoiling that's not an exciting vote. I don't know. Like every vote doesn't have to be live. They could vote an hour before the live show and then just cut it together. I mean,
that's what they used to do.
That's what they used to do.
They know how to do it.
So we don't need to see it live.
It's I can't think of any other explanation other than the fact that it is just easier and it eats up more time that they don't have to spend putting an episode together.
Yeah. So 13-0, Kirsten, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. And so a couple of interesting nuggets here from the interview with Julie. Who do you feel most betrayed by? Cirie.
Yeah, I covered this morning because I thought there's a good chance that Kirsten was going to be staying. I went over and covered some of the previous conversations that she had that I hadn't covered before. Turns out they were irrelevant. But she did get into it a little bit with Cirie. Nothing like major, but they got into a little bit of a fracas.
A fracas?
And they never really patched it up.
Yeah.
And I think she definitely had the sense that like if Cirie had been on her side, maybe she would have had more of a chance, which is probably true. But
yeah, I mean, was it so much Suri or was it Felicia?
I mean, it was the fact that she was up against Felicia, but also, I mean, Felicia's the one that got Kirsten targeted, but Jared and Suri were the ones that got Felicia to want her targeted. But I don't think she knows any of that. I think she just feels like hey, she might have had a chance against Felicia if not for Suri.
Got it. Okay. So then Julie reveals, what if I told you there was a secret relationship in the house? Why don't you guess? And Kirsten says, I don't want to. And then ultimately Julie says,
No.
okay, do you know that Suri is Jared's mom? And then a light bulb goes off. And let's see if this might have more game ramifications, because something that happened during the day today was this.
And you know what? Today, he stated, hey, my family calls me Jay Bleezy in the bathroom. And someone said, oh, that's Miss Suri's son's name. So we didn't think anything of it.
But now you're remembering it.
Yeah, this was like a moments ago, like an hour ago. And that's crazy because Jared's on one side of the house, she's on the other side of the house.
But are they really?
All right. So first of all, how many nicknames does Jared have?
Yeah.
Pooh, Jay Bleezy.
Where does that poo one come from? What is that? Do we know?
It's his nickname.
Mhm.
I don't know the
Maybe
origin story.
it sounds like a childhood nickname. Hey, Pooh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, Boo Boo or something like that. Pooh Bear. Yeah. It sounds like that.
I feel like Jared's being really loosey-goosey with like telling past stories or like telling past names or things that like give it away. Like the story about football or whatever, where he was saying his coach kept yelling like Fields at him. And he's like, yeah, he forgot that it was yards or something. And it was like,
yeah.
But like, why tell the story?
He meant to
like,
say
you be cautious.
stadiums.
Yeah. It's like, you need to be cautious.
It's kind of like he's teasing. I feel like he likes that, like, I don't know. And I had a conspiracy. I was like, wait, is this is production like playing this to how people talk about it in different ways? But I feel like Jared loves it, and he kind of, I'm trying to say this correctly in like a non-sexual manner, but it's kind of like, yeah, but it's kind of like a little like, and this is just the only thing that came into my mind, but like, I don't, but it's kind of like he keeps people on the edge of their seats.
Yeah. Okay.
So
we
it's
get
kinda
that.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess, who is this worse on? Is it worse that Jared is telling people that his name is Jay Bleezy, or is it worse that Suri is telling people my son's nickname is Jay Bleezy and he's actually in the house?
Well, the only thing I can think of is it's possible that Corey knew that Suri's son was nicknamed.
No
Jay
way.
Bleezy.
Corey, no way Corey knows that Suri's son's rap name is Jay Bleezy.
Isn't it that like didn't she introduce her son's names and one of them was Jay Bleezy? She's just using his nickname as to substitute for him. I think essentially
that Shannon said that when she said her one of her son's names was Jamie, and Jamie is the fake name.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought she gave an actual name. I feel like I would have known if I would have like thought something if she had said Jay Bleezy, because I was like, I don't know which one's the fake name.
I think it's worse on Suri.
I mean, she's clearly told them at one point that Jay Bleezy is a son.
Yes, it is worse on Suri to say that I have a son whose nickname is Jay Bleezy. And then not tell Jared, hey, don't tell the Jay Bleezy story.
It's such a specific nickname. I feel that like I honestly feel like this could be, and people don't always think on this level, and like all season long people like, this is the thing they're gonna know about the cookout now. But like it could get you thinking, and then you could look at their faces.
But this could be like one of the things where one day somebody has like the drop the coffee cup Usual Suspects moment where like everything comes together, and this could be like a little crack in the ice that somebody. She said this just happened an hour ago.
Yeah.
The greatest trick Suri ever pulled was convincing you her son didn't exist.
Her son isn't Jay Bleezy. Yeah.
Bleezy goes crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. We got the goodbye messages from people. We heard from Riley. We heard from Jared. Said you made bad decisions. We heard from Matt, Nicole also, and Kirsten was like, isn't there more?
Quick final thoughts.
I feel like there were more people in the house.
Yeah, we can't show everything.
Why
I
not? You showed 13 votes. You could have shown 13 voice messages too.
I think Kirsten thought that those were the only people who wanted to give her a goodbye or something. And so she was like, wow, okay, there were other people in the house. And she just doesn't know that they only show a few clips of it.
It's so funny to me, like so many moments that made it clear she hasn't watched the show before. And it's just another one of those. And it's just like, I mean, I think again, showing that like she had promise. Like this was she calls Julie out right away. Like, are you hiding the rest of them from me? Like,
yeah. And Julie has the audacity to be like, Kirsten, this is a very tightly edited show. We wouldn't waste. We have a lot to get to tonight. I still have to show an empty house and a portal, and so we can't
your
show
promo to the challenge.
Yeah, literally promo to the challenge. I really thought something was gonna happen after that because I was like, okay, we've wasted so much time. There's got to be like a cliffhanger or something to end on, and it was nothing.
They started voting at 6:30.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
nothing else happened in the entire episode.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's why I really thought another house guest was going to come in when I checked my phone and I was like, okay, it's 6:30 and we're voting now. Okay, that means something big is coming. And then nothing happened. Not even like showing us a wall comp or something for HOH, like to set us up for like a fun night of feeds. Like nothing.
Nope, nothing. Taran, had the house guest been commenting on how good Kirsten smelled?
That was weird.
I mean, not really. Not that I've seen.
Well, Julie, have we ever heard once in 25 seasons comment about how good a house guest smells?
It's the air hugs, you know. I don't.
It's the air hugs.
Yeah, I guess in the social distancing era, I guess Julie doesn't have COVID. We know that, so that's pretty good.
Well.
I mean, hey, the people in the house are sick. Actually, like they're all sick. So, for this to be the time that Julie stops, the air hugs is kind of wild.
Yeah, that everybody in the house is sick. Have we ever had this?
And not they're like many of them are coughing a lot.
Oh, it might have been another reason to cut the feeds.
Rapids.
Okay. All right. So that was the live show. And then Julie tells us about what's coming up for the rest of the week. And she says tune in Sunday night because
Plus, the Scaryverse sends a never-before-seen twist into the game.
And scarier words have never been spoken.
Yeah.
You know what I thought when because when they went back to showing Corey in the bed in like the clips before they really got into the episode, and they someone's gonna be in here longer. I thought, okay, we're gonna get an 18 house guest. Possibly someone was leaving. I don't know, maybe this is too far-fetched for the whole week, a little bit too far-fetched, and then just come back for voting or something like that. But we didn't get anything. But
we did hear some interesting stuff when Kirsten was evicted and on her way out the door. I don't know if you guys were hearing this, but it was
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Some heartbeats. Someone snuck a stethoscope into the house.
Yes, Sari does work in a hospital. So Julie then teases like, all right, well, house guests, it was so weird. Typically, and we all know the show so well. So when they do anything different, it's like, okay, wait, what's going on? So we get from the, usually they tease like, okay, we cut from commercial from the interview with the house guest to the house guest in the backyard. And we get a little bit of a look at the comp. We don't get that tonight. Julie says, all right, let's cut back to inside. to take a look at the house guests, even though we didn't spend any time setting up the competition for this week. And guess what? Oh, the house guests are not there. They're gone.
But are they
What?
really?
Where are they? Oh my God. Is that a Rick and Morty portal? What's happening?
Yeah. So, yeah, we get a little bit of a tease to some sort of a portal. And that's it. They're in the Scaryverse.
Okay.
Man, I can't wait for the post-credit scene.
Who is this for? What are we doing?
Who is it for? Is a good
I
question.
don't know what we're doing anymore.
The same people
honestly.
that loved the atomic wedgies, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be me.
Yeah. I did show my 7-year-old the atomic wedgie competition, and he was pretty into it.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah,
so that's who it's
so-
for.
Yes. So yeah, that portal that might be that might be something that he's interested in. But that being said, that was our Thursday night, first Thursday night of the season.
Leave it to Big Brother production to take what should have been an amazing week of television, a slam dunk decision that was like universally praised, and managed to have everyone mad at them by the end of the week. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how they are this good at turning good content into terrible things. It's honestly a talent.
It's a talent.
Yeah. And just to like add some intrigue to things, we have this news from our own Mike Bloom is reporting, just informed by CBS, that Exit Press with Kirsten will be pushed to next week. No confirmed date as of yet. Sharon Tharp also tweeted the same thing. And so no reason why, but
That's weird.
Kirsten,
I feel like that's
we won't-
weird.
See, I kind of thought another one of my harebrained thoughts was like maybe to sort of like get people off of talking about Luke. Where's Luke? Are we going to get an interview with Luke? Maybe they'll send Kirsten out. One of the reasons to do the eviction was to get her out there doing Exit Press.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that's not going to be happening until next week.
But don't they like send them straight home? Like if they're pre-jury, aren't they just like you're done? Like you do a day of exit interviews.
She
and then
may
you're
go.
out?
She may go home. But I think then she'll be on like Zoom, like from her house. Do that. And then maybe they want to like, maybe she doesn't even know the extent of the Luke thing, and maybe they want to get her up to speed over the next day or two.
My guess is like they like to cut feeds for a few days so to get people to talk about other things eventually. I imagine that they probably just want there to be new Big Brother content, new episodes out. So by the time you get the interview with Kirsten, the questions you're expecting aren't all about Luke. Because if we did them now, it would all be about Luke and what happened when the feeds were down.
That point?
Yeah.
Like
And they would have to
Kirsten.
probably tell the interviewers, no, you can't ask those things. And it would be, they'd be like, why aren't you asking about this? But if we release it next week, the heat for that will have died down and it won't be as big of a deal when they don't ask about it.
Yeah.
It just seems odd because it's like we'll have had another eviction, right? And then it's like, okay, well, we don't need it to answer.
Well,
these
I would think it'd be
questions.
early in the week if they were going to get her back out there. So we'll see. Strange times in
Y'all are like foiling all of their plans. They're like so pissed right now. They're clocking everything.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
It just seemed the whole
We
thing
had
is
5 days of just Big Brother bliss, Taran.
Yeah, it's just, they were out of the way. We didn't have to deal with production. It was just Big Brother, and we loved it. And then
Yeah.
production had to be like, no, we make this. This is ours.
Yeah, so you like it? You like us? Yeah. It's like, no, we don't like you. We like the show.
Yeah.
For the feeds,
Okay.
I guess. It's like, yeah, that's I think the most disappointing thing and the most shocking thing about this week's batch of episodes is that the feeds were so good and we were all enjoying ourselves so much and they had so much to work with. And yet they really gave us nothing. And even when it was like, on top of that, you have someone ejected from the house, which is like a a big thing, they just didn't give us anything for that either. So it was like we really didn't get anything. And I don't know. I just feel like the casual audience is very confused. My mom at least is like, nothing's happened. Like, you keep telling me that the feeds are really good, and I keep saying like, just wait. And then they watch the episode and they're like, nothing happened.
Mhm.
So the casual audience isn't loving it either.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we got a couple of questions. Here's one from Maya who wants to know any twist predictions. Taran, what fresh hell might the scary verse unleash on us and the Big Brother house guests?
I'm trying to think of like the worst thing that they could do. Honestly, maybe it is dividing them into teams. I think that's a terrible idea, given that the house is already divided.
I mean, it's how many people are in the house? 15 now.
15 now, which is weird. So it doesn't seem super likely.
Yeah, and they said it was never before seen.
Look, Rob, I just got, I don't know why you're putting me on the spot like this. I just told you how talented they are at coming up with dumb ideas. I am not that talented. I can't come up with dumb ideas as good as they do. All right, I give up.
All right. Maybe this is a question that we can try to answer. Week 2 HOH competition tends to be what?
Usually a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a roll a ball into a thing, or a shoot a thing into a thing. Usually into things.
Yeah. Okay. What happened to that we were going to be like revisiting things from the past in Big Brother 25? Is that still, like, I didn't make that up, right?
I think we assumed that because of the promotion of the season. And the
I
time
think that
laser.
was on us. I don't know if that was.
I could have sworn
actually a
they
thing.
said that Big Brother 25 is going to have things from the past, right?
I was on
There was
the
a time laser.
wavelength of you, Rob.
Okay. All right.
I think it was because of like the promo and that intro where they were like, Big Brother, like here's all the past things that happened in Big Brother and all, and like we're in the 25th season or whatever.
Yeah.
But no.
Also, what was the point of having those 3 house guests go in? Was it just like cute, or was there like a substance there?
Jacob, they had a time laser and they tried to change history.
They redecorated the house. They
And
redecorated
it broke the house into 4 distinct multiverses that are wreaking havoc on the game.
Yeah, if those 3 house guests
what are
didn't
you missing?
Those 3 house guests caused problems.
Yeah. Okay. Word. We were saying bye Brigade, bye Derek and Cody. I wanted a little bit more than.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I can reveal that I do have a source on the inside. Call me spoiler boy.
We've got some.
Are you trolling?
Yes. My sources have told me that the HOH competition is being filmed outside of the house currently.
They portaled out.
They portaled out. So let's see. So don't expect the live feeds imminently.
Forever Cemetery.
Wait, this may be the scary. Oh my gosh! Also with scary. Oh my gosh, we're missing something that is right in front of our face.
What is it?
The haunted house thing could return for like a POV.
Sure. Yeah. I think that we'll definitely get that. And I think as we get closer to Halloween, I think we'll do stuff like that.
Halloween, but I would like it now.
Yeah. Okay.
And wasn't it rumors about them needing their passports for this season as well?
Well, but they're not taking them out of the country.
Well, they could go out to like Paris. I mean, they're coughing right now, so
they're going to Paris.
Like, I mean, that's the first place I thought.
If they're lucky to get to Tijuana.
It's like The Bachelor or something where they're like, oh my God, we're going.
Yeah, what would be the point of doing Big Brother and taking them to another country?
They just
something
go
they've
to
never
a house
done
there.
before, Rob.
It would be something they've never done before. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go to Big Brother Australia. It's a crossover.
All right.
Oh my gosh, a Canadian.
And
I'm
Bowie.
playing fan fiction right now. Oh my gosh, I'm getting into
all
Wonderland.
making
Okay.
sense, guys.
All right. why don't we do this? This is a game that's always fun on Thursday night. Who could we manifest an HOH for? Jeff asks, who do you think will be the next HOH? Should we all put a chip down on somebody? Next HOH.
I wanted Kirsten to get it, but she is not there.
I feel like Hisam.
Hisam.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a Hisam HOH.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest,
I'll say Matt. I feel like Matt might.
oh Matt would
He's
be
so athletic.
Okay. I'll say Jag. I think Jag is pretty athletic, might know that his side is in trouble and might be the person to win an HOH for his side of the house.
I would like Corey.
Okay.
Because I feel like nobody really is like really wanting to seriously work with him. And maybe if he gets HOH, he can get a real in. So it would be interesting to see, how the two sides like kind of vie for it if he gets it.
Okay.
If my pick doesn't win, I piggyback Rob's pick.
Okay.
Yes, I think Jag's a good option.
All right. Anything else that we want to say tonight regarding BB25?
Are you in on the slop bet, Rob?
What whoever is the first person out. Well, I was a little bit more in on it when I thought that Kirsten was going to get the eviction canceled. I gotta be honest.
Look, I think I'm not in a good spot for that. My team is.
So the bet was this came up on the stock watch that whoever's team is out first has to eat a bowl of slop.
Yeah.
How do we turn
one thing,
oatmeal into slop?
Someone took a screenshot of the recipe. They showed it on the feed. So now we have the recipe, but the problem with it is that it calls for like 5 different protein powders, which I'm sure are very expensive.
And that's also very disgusting as well.
But nutritious.
I've been having stomach issues by eating protein smoothies. So
no wonder everyone's always backed up on.
Okay, Jacob, prop bet. You have to choose one of us, and if that person is the loser, you have to eat slop with us.
Oh,
wait. So I pick one to be on slop, and if that person's on slop, so I'm giving myself an inflicted punishment.
You have to pick somebody you think won't have their players eliminated.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then if you end up losing,
you have a great chance of not.
I have a great chance. Oh my goodness. I don't think. Oh, Melissa, I was gonna pick you, but then something just
don't pick me. My people are
something
so
just took over. Something just took over me. I was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, work. Okay. Y'all want the decision now or later?
Yeah, why don't you maybe you want to take a minute to review?
Look at the draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna take a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a minute. Right. But can I say I have been eating porridge for the last like 2 mornings.
So you are prepped and ready to go.
Well, I'm always prepped.
It's just
you know what I mean?
Porridge, same thing.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, my team is not a good team to pick. I have some losers, I think, on it. I don't know if I see a winner in the bunch, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
I can't wait for that clip to be played when one of her team wins.
Oh, no.
I have some losers. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But I guess.
But are they really?
We'll find out. Okay. All right. Should we start to wrap things up here tonight? Of course. Tomorrow will be a big day because here, you want to see the draft teams, Jacob? Here you go. All right. Aman has Jared and Riley left. Puya has Jag, Hisam, and Blue. I still have Corey and Miss Felicia. Taran has Matt, Nicole, and Bowie. And Melissa has America, Cameron, and Izzy.
Oh, I feel like that makes my choice so much easier. I kind of already know who I want to pick. But if people already think I'm on Terrence's jock, so this isn't to like add to the jock effect. But I like Nicole is like my homegirl, not in real life, in my head. And so I kind of like, I kind of want to just go for it. So baby, I'm putting all my weight on you.
If we go down, we go down together and we eat the slop.
We go down together.
Hand in hand with slop. Okay. All right. So coming up on Friday here on Robin's Podcast, of course, we'll get the day started with Taran with a live feed update, and maybe we'll have some information about the new HOH. But then we will get into our patron Q&A on Friday. So join Taran and I live at 2 p.m. Eastern for our patron content. Our patrons can call in each week, or you can send in a message at robisawebsite.com/voicemail, and we will take your questions on one of our patron shows, the BB Q&A, coming up on Friday for the patrons of Robin's Podcast. All the patron content from last week is available for you to check out for free at robin'swebsite.com/patron. Of course, make sure you subscribe to all of our podcast feeds, including our Big Brother podcast feed at robin'swebsite.com/subscribe. You can go there and get the links to all of our various podcast feeds for whatever show you need to get your podcast coverage for. Then also here on RHAP, tonight, the Challenge USA kicked off part 1 and 2. Be sure to catch Brian and Allie, and let me know what Allie and Brian have as far as coverage is planned. I will also have exit interviews for the Challenge, I believe, kicking off on Monday, talking to whoever gets kicked off of the Challenge. Okay, so they will have a recap of part 1 later on tonight, and then a recap of part 2 on Sunday for our Challenge recap. You can hear that in our Challenge podcast feed as robhasawebsite.com/challenge feed. Then we'll also have, earlier today, that it was a very special day as Bryce, Isaiah, and I went through the 2024 Zaddy calendar. I told Bryce, I think this is the best Zaddy calendar he's ever done. If you want to find out who's gracing the Zaddy calendar, of course, you can see. I think that honestly, Bryce should have waited till next year to have Joseph, so he could have had Joseph Abdeen 25 as the Zaddy calendar, but he jumped the gun a year early for 2024 on the cover of the Zaddy calendar. You can hear all about that and find out where you can get the Zaddy calendar on the latest RHAP episode. All right. Then Claim to Fame on Monday night. Jenny and I were joined by Mike Bloom for a very fun recap of this week's Claim to Fame. Join us again this Monday for the next episode. Plus, Taran's got a live feed update coming up on Friday, tomorrow morning. Join live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're watching us here on YouTube so you don't miss an update. And hopefully, Taran, we're back in business.
Hopefully we can change that face back to the other one.
Yes. Please. Hopefully we can go back to Taran with a happy face. Okay? All right. Then that'll do it for what's coming up. Okay, Jacob, it's been a minute since we got to check in with you. What else you got going on these days?
I've kind of, I don't know. I feel so happy and so light and so like, I'm working on Big Brother season back, which I'm very excited for, and I'm working on music, which is like such a curveball. I have like a little team working on music, so that's kind of what I'm putting my like blinders on it.
Yeah, can I ask a follow-up? What do you mean you have a team working on music?
Yeah, but yeah, I kind of got into music. I got back from a trip, and then I was like, damn, like and then
are you a recording artist?
Things have just started to like work out for me and
wait,
go.
Are you JJ Bleezy?
My name would never be that, first off, Rob.
When is the album dropping?
Well, EP at the least, and so we're hopefully something can come out very soon.
All right.
No, but yeah.
When can we have the album release party?
I know. And hopefully by like I want to say November. Wishful thinking.
Okay.
I thought I'll have it done by August. So now we're here, but hopefully by November.
Okay. All right. Well, Jacob, this is huge news.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I can't wait for the concert.
Can't wait. I saw Beyonce. Oh my God. Fuck. Screw the singing. I saw Beyonce. I was right. Beyonce's here. I'm like right here.
That's pretty good.
my kind of life changed. But
yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, Jacob, so great to have you back here with us
Thank you.
on our Thursday night recap.
Actually,
Melissa,
I was able to record some footage of Jacob meeting Beyonce.
Actually.
all right, Melissa, what's coming up for you?
This just Big Brother. So I will be watching live feeds and doing stock watch stuff and all that. And so I'm on all social media platforms, and it's Melissa with 3 A's.
Okay. All right. Well, Melissa, great to have you back here for Thursday Big Brother. And then Taran, hopefully that you can get back on schedule here with the feeds. What did you do with no feeds? I saw you tweeted out about how you didn't know what to do with yourself after there being no feeds. Well, how did you end up spending the day?
It's weird when like you don't have time for anything and then all of a sudden you have time, but you know you're not going to have time for much time, so you can't really start anything that's going to take actual time, and you're just like, what do I do? So I took 2 naps and I got a massage.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay.
very nice.
All right. Well deserved.
Very nice.
All right. So it's like you won a reward challenge. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Taran, where can people keep up with you?
Find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, watching these episodes live with everyone, hanging out, and, you know, talking about all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will be back with Taran on Friday, and then we will all be back together for Sunday night for Big Brother. By the way, patrons, we just posted the link for the first of our live events for the fall of 2023 up on Patreon with the discount code. So be sure to be checking that out if you want to join us for our upcoming event for when we get to Survivor. And we have some news about other events up as well on Patreon. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.